What's up guys, Jack here, and in today's video we have the highlights from Wednesday night's GT League race. We have some epic curb smacks, some sprint race in the fog, and at the end of the video we're going to be sharing the best highlight from a community member each week. This one I'm just going to be sharing my own. It's the most unfair DQ you've ever seen. So getting into this, we're going to start off with qualifying for the sprint race. So we are off. So we're off in qualifying and we're being as aggressive as we can with the tires immediately. So in qualifying here, we only get 3 laps. So the first lap, I really hope that's not going to be your fastest. And once you finish lap 4, that's it. You just coast it. And we take the lap times from that lap, and that's going to be the correct finishing order. So you have to make sure you don't get the 5th lap because it'll mess up with the order. So we unfortunately didn't have the best qualifying in this. So how the qualifying works is after the 3 laps, it'll set the grid for the sprint race. The sprint race is on the international circuit that we are racing on here at Silverstone. So we're going to have a 14-lap sprint race with no pit stops. And then that race will have a inverted grid, and it will race 24 laps on the full Silverstone track. So we're gonna go off to a decent start. We get a good first lap, and you can really abuse the track limits in that corner. But one thing you really need to be careful of, and it's something I really fell foul to that in the game, is you really don't have a defined visual aid to tell you what that limit is on the track limits. And it really did catch me out a couple times in the sprint race, which it didn't help our cause. But we're just hoping to have a better race than the first one, where we had a incredibly stupid mistake where I messed up in the pits, or maybe I had a glitch, but I didn't get fuel. And if you saw that race, I ended up having to pit twice because I ran the car out of fuel unbelievably. So there we go. We qualified P6. So it's not terrible. Mid-pack, we were able to run a time about 7/10 faster in practice. So unfortunately, we didn't quite get there. So we are going to go ahead and start the race. So I'm just going to go ahead and let the race play out here for the first lap, and then we'll jump back in.
Zero grip from when Grim is behind me.
And that is the end of lap 1. So now we got to put our head down and see how many more positions we can make up before the end of the race. So right ahead we have this BMW, and we logged the inside of that curb. That's going to be the first of many times that happens today. It's still clean, but it really is not where you want to be driving the car. So here we are. We're going to try and take a wide line right here, get in the draft of this BMW. Hopefully we can stay in the draft, try and squeeze this Corvette as hard as we can, try and make sure we can stay in that draft with the Ferrari with 7 gears, staying in the power band really well, accelerates really well, and we're able to take that spot. But I really struggled with the aero wash in these races. Anytime anyone was right behind me, I could barely drive this car. Now, I probably need to make an adjustment for that and add some more aero on it. When this car is alone, driving by itself, it is wicked fast. But anytime one car gets behind me, you can see I'm sliding all over this place. As soon as I'm in clean air, the car is fine. So unfortunately, Forza did not fix it in the previous update. So let's talk about what car we're in this week. We are in the Ferrari. The rules allowed in this league for one car change, that allows you to change your car one time when they changed the BOP of the cars. So here we go. We get a nice good run on this Porsche. We're going to try and make a run. Oh, sorry, the BMW. And we're going to see what kind of move we can make into this corner, and hopefully we're going to make it stick. Yes, and nope, we're just going to aero wash out on the exit, and he's going to make a run back on us, but no, we're going to be able to hold him off partially for the moment. So there we are, made it up into P3, where we're going to try and put our head down and catch up to the leaders, but I really struggle here. My lines are a little bit wonky, and I'm really struggling with the aero wash behind me that I'm allowing these cars to get back by me and make another run, and we're just all slowing each other down at this point. So the absolute bejesus out of that curve. It scares me every single time, but we're still going, and we're off to a good start. P4, P3, fighting for the podium. That's where we want to be. So we get a good run. We're going to try and make another pass on this Corvette. We know we have the straight line speed advantage, so we're going to pop out on the inside. Nice draft. Can we make the move stick? We're going to drive it all the way in. Really park it on the apex. Try not to let him go. And we have some contact. He gets loose. He's very kind, though. He slows down. And that really affected his race, too, because he's kind gentleman he is, slowed down to let me by, and while doing that let two cars get past him, and he really did have some pace, as you'll see towards the end of this sprint race. Now, finishing up lap 4, starting lap 5, we have already lost a lot of time to the leaders, and that was really demotivating, and it was hard to really push at this point because I really didn't think I would be able to gain that ground back up. We were running very similar times of practice on this track, so I really just had to find some motivation and keep going, because right here I make a very silly mistake, just letting these cars get right back onto me, back in the aero wash again, so I can't really fight and push away from these cars. So same scenario I was in last lap, trying to get away from these cars again, trying to get out of that aero wash because I don't want to keep losing time. Like, maybe there's still a chance if the two leaders have a little run-in together, I can maybe gain some ground on them, but right now I'm just losing probably 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds a lap fighting off the BMWs behind. So I was really worried about that. We got a nice little bum draft here. Thank you, kind sir. So we're making our way through, and we had some great battles in this race. The BMW, I got a little bit loose, creating a little bit too much chaos. So with this aero wash and the lap times being pretty close on this small track, we still had a very bunched up field. So I was disappointed about the cars in front, but I had to make sure I was still focused on all the cars behind because it was pure chaos all behind. But once that chaos kind of stacked up, it allowed us enough time to get a little bit of breathing room. We were able to pull a little bit of a gap, gain some ground, and make it a little bit less eventful of a race, which sometimes is the goal. So we got a nice enough gap. We finally start to get out of that aero wash. So the rest of the race wasn't really that eventful. It was just a little bit of hot lapping. But I did make a couple mistakes which came back to haunt me. In the darkness, it's hard to see the lines, it's hard to see the marker. I overstepped the marker here, got myself a big penalty, which The time I gained doing it was not fitting of the crime, but the punishment was not fitting of the crime. But I made the same mistake again. I ran wide, lost some time, got back onto the track, and got an even bigger penalty there. And that really ended up hurting us. As you see the Corvette from earlier, he was able to catch up and get within that 2-second gap. And as we finish off this last lap, unfortunately, he was within that gap. So even though we were able to cross the line in third position, that penalty we got for exceeding the track limits came back to haunt us and made us lose a position. So sometimes you can get away with that penalty, sometimes you're not able to. So lessons learned, and in the future, I'm going to have to be way more careful with those lines. So as we come up to finish the race, we're going ahead and let's get straight into the main race, where we are starting in 13. All right, guys, if you made it this far into the video, I would just ask if you could leave a like down below and subscribe. I'd appreciate that very much. All right, so we are green now. These races have a half-second roll-off delay. So just to make the race starts a little bit safer and a little bit less chaotic, because this is still Forza, even though we are in a private lobby. So we have 20 laps to go in this race. So we are starting at the back in the inverted field. And that means the faster guys are behind us and the slower people are in front of us. So we want to make sure we can get by them as fast as possible, so we can almost use the cars in front as a pick, using those cars to pull away while we're in clean air, while the faster guys are stuck having to pass them, because each car they're going to be going forward is going to be progressively faster and faster. So it's going to be very difficult for them to get through the field very quickly, and it's going to be bunched up, and it's an easy place to make a mistake. So we've got our head down, and we're going to try and make some moves early, but we also want to make sure we are keeping it safe. We want to keep it a nice, smooth start. I'm really not pushing anything too aggressively here, not pushing any of the brake zones yet, kind of lifting off a little bit earlier, just being a little bit smoother, because as you can see, I don't even take this entry very fast. I'm just kind of smoothly coming in, and I still am able to catch up all this ground because it's all just kind of bunching up right there. So we're going to try and get a good run out of here, but unfortunately Turk gets a better run out of the corner. Thanks, Turk. And he's going to be able to run away a little bit on this straightaway, but we're going to try and catch that guy. So we're going to get a nice smooth run, and oh, here we go. We got a chance to get back by him, so we're going to try and get a good power down early. There's a little bit of contact. We're going to make a move around the Acura and just kind of sneak through. Got a little bit of argy-bargy here in the corner, but it's all good. We're going to try and get the power down early and make another pass. I see one car just went off and another car rejoined. There looked like there was a little bit of contact there, but make sure right here we got to lift off the throttle a little bit to avoid that penalty. But let's see if we can make a move on the inside of Turk. Nope, he's not having that. Why don't you just be nice, Turk, and just let me pass you? And oh my god, I just had a heart attack. So let's watch that again. So the Audi gets off track and hits the inside curb and hits the brakes and the Acura behind me, and I cannot, we have zero chance of reacting to that. So that brought out a yellow flag. So we're going to be able to group back up, and here we go. We are back for the restart.
There's a little air bubble again in the game.
All right, let's go. It's restart time, and we are off, and we already got a good run on this Acura. So we recovered from our crash. Not really mentally, but physically we're all good, and we are off. So once again, we're stuck behind Turk, and the Acura makes a great move right back by us. So we're going to go ahead and make a little bit of a dive bomb here, but I don't think I was aggressive enough here. I really didn't say this is my corner. And I just asked, and he said no. He shut the door right on me. So let's try and get back in the draft of this Acura, because once again, we have the straight line speed of this Ferrari. We are going to be able to get by this Acura if we can get close enough behind. So we're staying nice and close. So he's going to have that aero wash. He's going to slide out a little bit, and we're going to try and hop around the outside. But no, what I'm trying to do, force him to block me off. I'm going to get a good run on the inside, hop in the draft immediately. No, we're not. We're going to hop on the outside, try and hop in the draft of the BMW, which we start to get. We get that draft. We sit hold along, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to make it stick. But he defended the corner too hard, and he ended up taking out the BMW, which did not bring out a yellow, surprisingly enough. So we are going to start putting our head down and try and catch up to the next cars. So after witnessing that one, we're up to P10. I think we still got a pretty good chance at winning this race. So we're going to try and make a move on this BMW. He's a little bit offline, so we know we can take a nice, and this one you can cut right here. It's the only corner you can cut that doesn't have those dang turtles, and you get a good run, and we are going to make a move on this BMW. And let's just watch this pass.
Yeah, I got a really good run out of the
With that move made, we have our sights set on Turk again. So we got to close this ground again and make sure that car doesn't have any more ground on us. So he's still stuck battling, but he's going to be able to make his way by because he's also now in a Ferrari. So we're on the same car. So it's pretty much just going to come down to who has the better setup and who has the better run. So I'm going to try and get back by this BMW as quick as I can and stay on Turk as much as I can, because we still have a lot of cars to pass to get all the way back through to the front of the field. So about now, I'm starting to notice a problem. And if you guys watched my first league race, I made a horrible mistake, and sorry, my head hurt after that one. And I'm just gonna walk it in.
my last race.
Let the stream take over.
No more fuel after this time. I just caught it now.
Now, really quickly, I will add 14 laps is what I started this race with. It is lap 7.
Oh, I know.
That is ridiculous. That is annoying. But let's listen in.
Claim. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh my god, I just ruined the race. I panicked. I just panicked and ruined the race. I'm not going to get back around. I think that's a GG. I think I just literally screwed up. Again. I panicked, put mediums, and put no fuel in, and I entered with no fuel. Yep, I'm out. Like, what am I doing? So I'm on medium tires, and I have no fuel. I don't know what I'm doing.
I was reading the chat and I wasn't paying attention, and as I entered the pits, I realized the car was already stopping and I hadn't made my choice. I panicked and hit medium tires and didn't add fuel to the car. So we're gonna ride this lap on this glitch where you can just shift up and down. It'll maintain speed in the car, but we made another race-ending mistake in the pits. This mistake cost us a lap, and
I can't see the map behind me.
it was
beware, there is a
very,
car
very
second to last
disappointing.
corner.
Not all of them can be good. Here I kind of come to the inside here, and
Tried to say I was going inside.
I did say I was going to be on the inside. Yeah.
All right, we made it back to the pits.
So we make it back into the pits. And this time, yep, soft tires. Yep, we got that reserved in. We made sure we did it. It's just a sad sight as we get back on the track, but we're not quitters. We're not going to stop. We're going to put our heads down, and we're going to see if we can make up any ground or any spots at all. It's a long shot. Maybe a yellow flag comes out, but that's all we were able to do. Now, what I want to talk about now is at the end of every video I make now, there is going to be either like the funniest fail, the best pass, funniest moment, and I want you guys to be the ones whose videos I'm showing. So if you could message them to me on Xbox, I'm going to get a Discord set up, and I will link that once it is. And send me those videos, and you will have the chance to have your video shown as the one at the end of the videos. Now, we're just going to speed up all the way through this race. It's a little bit of a hot lapping session at this point, so we're just going to keep going as we're speeding this race up. And, you know, we're really just putting our head down and driving faster and faster. And as we keep going, we're driving really, really fast now. So we're just really watching these laps shine down. And we're really, really going quite quickly now. So it's lap 16, and now we're running on to lap 17. So we're going to start winding this down a little bit slower. As we finish lap 17 and head on to 18, we're going to wind up with the last lap of the race. So here we go. We are winding the race down. So finishing this race up, we end up with a catastrophic finish of 15th place. It could have been a lot better, but it is what it is with this finish. You can't have good without bad, so we will take the finish this time, but we're going to be back next week, possibly with some even stronger competition, as I am clearly driving really well at this point. So now I want to get into the video. So for today's video, what we have is I was in a live rock session. It was literally the first session I was doing in the Corvette C8. So I hop in, and you can see I'm literally level 2 in this car. I've just started. This is literally lap 1 of the race. So we're going through nice smooth turn through Lime Rock. First time driving this car with this tune. I'm really not that good in it yet, so don't judge my lines too much. So as we come out, I'm gonna get too much of the curb here, and I'm gonna snap loose. So, oh man, I just go a little bit wide, whatever. Oh, it's kind of like, that guy just put a penalty? Like, just give me a 6-second penalty. It just gave me 2 6-second penalties. It disqualified me. It disqualified me from the event right then and there for one off track. So that is my best clip for the video. So go ahead and send your clips in, guys. Please leave a like and comment. And if you can, subscribe to the channel, that'd be great. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.